Hello, and welcome to the Kathy J Show, everybody. I'm Kathy J. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's so awesome that you're hanging out with me. Please remember, you can always get more Kathy J. That sounds so weird to say, but you can always get more of our show at kathyjshow.com. Okay, so let's get right into it because we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. So today we're going to be discussing domestic violence, which it is a hard thing to talk about, but just hang in there with me this half hour and tomorrow, everybody. We have to talk about it because 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of domestic violence. Now, it could be abusive verbal violence, it can be physical violence, mental violence, it's there, okay? So domestic violence is a form of violence that occurs within a domestic relationship. It's safe to say everybody in an intimate relationship will fight or have arguments, but when it gets physical, when it is mentally, verbally abusive, that is not okay. Domestic violence can happen to anybody, okay? There's no victim type out there. Abusers are all about the power and the control, and they'll manipulate people in a way that not only skews their thinking or perception, but it actually makes them less sure of themselves and more dependent on that abuser. And once somebody finds themselves in that cycle of abuse, wow, it can be really hard to stop, everybody, because there's shame with it. Once you start hiding the bruises from your friends and family members and you make up excuses for why you can't hang out with them, why you can't be a part of their lives, you start to feel guilty. You're deceiving people you love for this person that you think you love. And then time passes by and those relationships are strained and you don't have any support system to help you with your abuser that's behind the walls with you. Victims find themselves stuck financially. Come on. You know people that are trying to separate right now. It is hard in today's day on a single person's income to survive. And if there's kids involved, if there's animals involved, you don't want to leave them behind, so it gets that much more difficult. So I'm a survivor of domestic violence myself. I am proud to say I'm a survivor. I'm not a victim. Okay, so I had a boyfriend in college, so I was dating domestic violence. So I was dating him. Everything was cool. He was good looking. Everything was fine. And of course, everything was fine until I found out he cheated on me. What? A boy in college cheating on somebody? I've never heard of such a thing. So I went to break up with him. That's what you do when you find out your guy's cheating on you. So I went to break up with him, and he didn't like that I was standing up for myself. He didn't like that I was leaving him. So all of a sudden, that control was being taken away from him, and this crazy cycle of manipulation started. And I was lucky because my name was on the lease, so he was kind of just couch crashing at my house. So he had to move out. He didn't like it. That honeymoon cycle started. What that means is they're real mean to you one second, and then the next minute they're apologizing. You get some flowers, there's nice gestures, and then you take them back. And then every time you start questioning, and then when you question him, the fight immediately blows up, okay? And I wouldn't want to fight. So then it became this horrible intimidation and fear thing that he would do to me, like hold a knife to my throat when I wanted to go to class, and he didn't want me to leave him. And I knew I was almost out of there. I was almost out of Durango. It was the week before finals. I just had to make it to the end of that week, and I was going to be gone. And I stayed away from campus all day on that Sunday, and then I came home to my apartment. He was a football field away from me when I was walking to my apartment. All I had to go down was 5 steps, 30 feet, and I was going to be in my door. As that key was going in the door, he was coming down those stairs. My heart was racing. I had nobody around me. I told him, stay away. We're broken up. He said, I left my belt in your apartment. They always leave something behind, don't they? And then he was going to leave. So it was cool. It was civil at first. So I went in and got the belt. And as I was handing the belt to him, as I was shutting the door and closing him out of my life, he started saying all these mean things, horrible things, right? And I was just like pushing him out the door so I could lock it. And then all of a sudden, that flame just exploded. He came back at me so hard. He pushed me so hard. I literally went through the wall. My body, my ankles, that's them going right through that wall. And then he grabbed me, full out punched me. That punch sent me flying back into a kitchen table. We all fell over, the kitchen table and me. My girlfriends across the hall, thank God, They heard the commotion, they came over, they saw what was happening, and then they started jumping on him. I was on the ground looking up, seeing my girlfriends jumping on this man as he was repeatedly kicking me. And then he took off, and there I was. And I wasn't gonna call the cops. I wasn't strong enough to call the cops. My girlfriends called the cops for me. I filed a police report. He got arrested. And you know what sucks the most? That following Monday morning, I'm in that courthouse getting a restraining order with a black eye, standing behind the girl that he was cheating on me with, there to bail him out. That's right, she was the side trick, and now she knew that she was going in with an abuser. She was like, sign me up, I'll take him. I don't know what happened to him. Good luck to you. That's my story, everybody, and thank you so much for letting me share it. Ever since that boyfriend, I educated myself and looked for any red flags with any boyfriend after that. The minute a man starts to be controlling over me, I am gone. Thank you so much, you guys, for letting me share my story, and today and tomorrow, this is what we're gonna be doing, okay? I have some amazing women sitting over there that are also here to share their stories. We're gonna do our part to raise awareness for domestic violence, everybody. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Ramos Law is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. He's a medical doctor and a lawyer. Ramos Law, what makes us different makes us better. All right, welcome back to the Kathy J Show, everybody. So October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'm over here. That's a better angle anyway. Okay. October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, everybody. And so today I have on the show Ramona and Tessa to share their stories and talk about how anybody can fall victim to domestic violence. There's no qualifying factors that automatically make you more or less likely. No two situations are the same. Ladies, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Ramona, let's start with you.
All right, well, my story, I had the fairy tale story.
Okay.
I had a charming, good-looking guy absolutely sweep me off my feet. And it wasn't long after that that I found out that he had abused women. In fact, he had abused his wife previous to me. He also had an abuse of alcohol and drugs, but by then it was too late for me because I was in love with him.
Oh.
And besides, I felt I could change him.
You were the girl that thought you could change him. You
Absolutely.
saw the good guy, and you felt you could get the good guy out more.
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was a successful businesswoman. I was educated. I was going to college. I had the support of family and friends. And he knew, because I told him, that if he ever laid a hand on me, that would be it. I'd be gone. And so he he yelled at me, would call me names. He would accuse me of horrible things, but I was confident, and so all that didn't matter to me, or so I told myself it didn't matter.
Right.
Years later, we got married, and 1 week later, he slugged me for the first time.
After you were married?
After we were married.
I just got goosebumps because that is all too often the truth. That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
When they wait till you're married, and then now you see the real devil.
Exactly. Yeah, it was much harder to leave then because we were married.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I think we were both shocked, and he promised, of course, that it would never, ever happen again. And I believed him because I wanted to. And actually it didn't, but as I was thinking about it, he did start to shove me, along with calling me names and accusing me of horrible things. So it really went a long time until it didn't go so well.
What happened?
And one horrific night, he almost took my life. I was studying for finals at college. I had a 1-year-old who was in bed, and I didn't make dinner because I thought he was out at the bar with friends. So he was going to get something to eat at the bar. But that set him off. And he came out, and I thought always that I would be able to protect myself against this man if he ever did come after me. He was 6 foot, I was 5'3".
No way.
I was a rag doll that night. He, similar to you, Kathy, threw me all over our home, across the coffee table, up against the walls, until he got me on the couch and had his hands around my throat, strangling me. Thankfully, I was able to break loose. I ran to the phone, because we didn't have cell phones back then.
No, right.
Ran to the phone, dialed 911, and he looked me in the eyes and said, "You are dead now."
Oh, no.
I was petrified. I stayed on the phone with the 911
That's
operator.
your only lifeline right there.
Absolutely. And thankfully he got out of the house. I quickly ran around. I locked all the doors. Took the police 45 minutes to show up.
What?
And in the meantime, I heard his key in the lock of my front door. And I thought, oh my God, I am dead now. And I quickly ran. I put the chain on. He busted through it as though it wasn't even there. And I thought, I'm dead. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm shaking. I'm petrified. My 1-year-old is in bed sleeping. And I thank God every night that all he did was grab his keys and he left.
Absolutely.
So by the grace of God, I survived that night.
Thank you. And then was it when the cops finally got there, that whole going through the system is what helped you get out?
I went through the system, and as I was in court, I had somebody hand me a card, and I was so ashamed. I mean, I'm a successful businesswoman.
Right.
Things like this
You
don't
don't know
happen
what's
to
going
people
on
like
in my
me.
life. Right, exactly.
They happen to people who are, lower class,
Right.
that can't support themselves.
Women that have no education.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. So I held on to that card. 3 weeks later, after he tried to kill me, I took him back. But I knew I would never be able to stay in that place again.
Was it the guilt that he was the father of your child that you took him back? Did he really, what was it that time? Because you had your foot out the door.
Yeah, I had my foot out the door. It was what I didn't know then, but knew later. It was the honeymoon stage.
Yeah, absolutely. That honeymoon stage is so dangerous.
But you
brought
a bottle
live
of
in it for a
home,
minute.
brought me to a nice dinner, took me to a
Yes.
concert, and would never happen again. And I told myself 90% of the time it's great.
Yeah.
And it took a while for me to realize, but it was the 10% that almost cost me my life.
That's exactly right. All right. Thank you so much, Ramona. Thank you for sharing that. Very brave. Okay, so everybody, thank you for sharing that. Tessa, you have to wait till after the commercial break. All right. Thank you so much. We'll be right back, everybody. Good job.
Kathy J.
Oakwood Homes is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. Oakwood Homes, building happiness.
Kathy J.
Welcome back to the Kathy J Show, everybody. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so thank you to my guests, Ramona and Tessa, for being here today. We are survivors of domestic violence. We are not victims, everybody. Ramona, real fast, let's close your story. How did you finally leave him?
It was through education and counseling. So finding a card that somebody had given me at the courthouse allowed me the courage to call that number, get some education, find out about the cycle of domestic violence, which was so critical for me to understand the cycle that I was in to be able to break it and get out of it.
Absolutely, thank you. All right, Tessa, please share your story.
Okay, my ex and I met, I was very young, 20. It was nice. It was sweet.
Yes.
Small town.
Yeah.
Fell in love.
Okay.
Got married. Shortly after we got married, the guilt started, the blaming started happening. It was, he blamed me for everything from him cheating on me.
Right.
To
What is wrong with you? I didn't do it. You cheated. Right.
Right. To our finances or
the
shape of the house if it wasn't clean or
everything he was unhappy with was your fault.
absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay.
If I would just do what he said, he wouldn't be so mad.
Okay.
And then years later, we moved out here to Colorado, and the fights got worse, more intense. Every time he'd apologize, he didn't mean to say what he said. He didn't mean to call me the names.
Verbal or were they physical yet?
Verbal.
Okay.
Everything was verbal.
Yep.
But there were threats.
Oh yeah.
He was going to bash my head in with a glass.
Right. There's the standing over you
Absolutely.
thing. Yeah.
And then it started getting physical. He would chest bump me when he was mad.
Yes, that's what she said.
Yep.
That all of a sudden you started realizing there were pushes with the verbal. Yeah.
Mine were chest bumping. And the final straw, he chest bumped me onto our bed and wouldn't let me up during the fight. And so I clocked him to get him off me.
You were in self-defense.
Absolutely. Our boys were in the house. And he told me to hit him again and he'd end it. And so I knew I had to get him out of the house. Somehow, I'm a small person. He wasn't very big, but I drug him out of the house, and he called the cops on me.
He called the cops on you. Okay,
Yes.
so then the cops show up, and what happens?
They did interviews, took pictures of my hands.
Yeah.
Saw the bruises on his arms from me pulling him out of the house. And they arrested him for domestic violence.
They arrested him. How come they arrested him? There was no paper trail. How did they know it was him?
They took his interview. He said he doesn't remember what happened, but what I said wasn't what happened.
Gotcha. Okay.
So-
all right. So by him going away, is that what helped you start the cycle to get out?
Absolutely. I knew I needed to leave. He had choked me about 6 months before all this happened in our kitchen because we were fighting, and I threw down a lighter and it skidded across his feet.
Just because of that? That was enough to choke you out?
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's... The abusers are the ones out of control. They're the ones that have the issue.
Correct.
Right, and so Tessa, you said though that how many restraining orders have you had to go get since you've been separated from him?
8.
8. Wow. Because why?
Protection order violations.
Protection order violations. Yeah, a protection order doesn't just because you have a restraining order, it doesn't necessarily mean.
It's just a piece of paper unless they follow it.
You're so great. And this is fresh for her, everybody. So thank you for sharing this. I love you. Thank you. I want to bring Shannon Bolts on. She is with Safe House Denver. And everybody, tomorrow we're going to have the director of Safe House Denver on with us, and we're going to be discussing everything about domestic violence, what it is, the red flags, all of that. I really wanted people to just have a face with us, first of all. And Shannon, at Safe House Denver, you've heard both of them, including me, say, it was the help we got once the police were called. And that's when Safe House Denver comes in. It's you guys, it's your help. So we want people to be able to donate and give money so that you can help other women and other men that are in this situation. Please tell everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me,
Yes.
and thank you, ladies, for sharing your story. You're
Yes.
amazing and brave, and I'm so fortunate to know the both of you. And so Safe House Denver has been around since 1977. We are the only agency in the city and county of Denver that provides a full continuum of care for survivors of domestic violence. So
Yes.
the counseling, the shelter. When Tessa left, she was able to go to her sister's house, but not everybody has a place to stay. So we do provide emergency shelter.
Yeah.
We also provide extended stay housing for folks who are out of immediate crisis but not quite ready to be on their own yet. And 24-hour crisis line. So we provide this full continuum of care really to help every step along the journey.
Right, because
And-
it's good 1 minute, but it's not good at 2 in the morning, and
Yeah.
so to know that someone's on the other end of the line
Yeah.
to help you or that they can get you out of that house.
in a non-judgmental fashion too.
Yes.
We know statistics say, and just like these ladies have shared, it takes somebody an average of 7 times to leave a domestic violence relationship before
Yes.
they leave for good, for a number of reasons. And I think Domestic Violence Awareness Month is a great time to talk about, why are we asking why does she stay or why does she go back? Why aren't we asking why does that person abuse?
Yes.
It's not always a he. It's oftentimes anybody in any kind of relationship can be both a survivor or an abuser. And
Absolutely.
so really changing that narrative to, why does that person abuse instead of why does another person stay?
Exactly. So we hope that we were able to let you all see, put a face and realize that educated women can fall victim to this, but there is help out there, everybody. That's the common goal here. There's help. So just head to safehouse-denver.org. They have the 24-hour crisis line that Shannon mentioned, 303-318-9989. Way to go, ladies. Thank you so much. All right, we will be right back.
Kathy J.
The Colorado Lottery is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. Colorado Lottery, play on.
Kathy J.
All right, and now it's time for the Colorado Lottery trivia question of the week. Here we go. Will the Colorado Lottery ask for money if I win a prize? That's the question, and the answer is no. Lotteries will not ask for fees to claim prizes because that's fraud, everybody. And we know our friends at the Colorado Lottery, they're not about fraud. They keep it real, honest and simple. All right, thank you guys for being here and watching us today and hanging out with us. Please continue the conversation in your own homes as well. Tomorrow we will have the director of Safe House Denver on to talk about the red flags in relationships and how you can help and get help. Shannon, before I let you go, actually, Ramona, Tessa, thank you so much for being here. A round of applause for being here. Very brave of you. I appreciate it. Amen. Shannon, I want to close with how people can raise money, how people can give money.
Yeah, absolutely. So Safe House Denver never charges for any of those services that I talked about. And the only way that we're able to do that is because of the community. These ladies have received help, have given help, have supported Safe House Denver, and you can do the same. We, in honor of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, have an awesome match going on right now. 2 anonymous donors have donated $15,000 to match your donations. So if you go on our website right now, safehouse-denver.org, you can make a donation, and that donation will be doubled, so your impact is doubled. You can keep providing services.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
you.